Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adini Ajishafe. Let's take a look at some sporting stories trending in the world of sport as we look at the fact that, well, the ladies did well, but they couldn't just salvage a win against Japan. Talking about Super Falcons, they tried their best over there in Kobe, but they lost that game. That's the first we'll be looking at. Japan women 2-0 against Nigeria women. Super Falcons lost that game. They suffered consecutive defeats to Nadeshiko, as they call Japan national team, that are the senior women team there. Nadeshiko defeating us again. Well, we just hope that our ladies will get it right by the time they get to the World Cup. Japan did well. Tanaka scoring 2 goals, one of them penalty against Nigeria. Super Falcons tried their best, even though they were able to curtail them in the first half, but second half, the Nadeshiko actually came on to score those 2 goals. I have Ijeoma Kigbo to talk about this. Good to have you, Ijeoma.
Morning, Adini. Thanks. Good to be here.
Good to be here. Well, let me call them your ladies.
Right.
They tried their best. At least the first half was a bit tough, but they were able to hold their own against Japan. But the second half, they got beat by Japanese women.
Yeah, kudos to the Super Falcons team. For me, it's just the quality of friendlies they've been having this period. You know, they played the U.S. women's team and then playing Japan now again. I think it's kudos to the NFF. You know, what we should take notice is that the girls are preparing really hard for the World Cup. You know, same as the Japanese team. So, it's just 2-0. At least.
And also, it's good for them at least to get their acts together. Japan, we know how good they are when it comes to world football. According to the way it is as per women, they've been doing so well. They've won the World Cup before.
Yeah.
So playing against them is like at least a very good experience for Super Falcons. They really need this, especially the new players injected by Randy Wardrum. The likes of Deborah Abiodun, Yenezide, Sebastian, tried to gel with the experienced Super Falcons. It will help them. By the time World Cup starts, whoever is going to pick will be able to work together because they've been playing friendlies together one way or the other. Even though this is not the main team, but at least we have a set of players having that particular experience to move around to play against US, against Japan, and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good for Randy Wardrum because you have a lot of options for him to pick when the World Cup, you know, comes up next year. So very good one for the sides as well. Sad that we lost again. You know, it's about 4 consecutive defeats since after, you know, the African Women's Cup of Nations. But I would say kudos to them. You know, they're holding their side and they're doing so well. Let's just expect that they continue to build up from here. The wins will come, of course, but the most important thing, as you said, is gelling together as a team and giving more exposure, more time, you know, more game experience for the new players, you know, who are coming in to join the national team, and for them to blend and get more experience playing internationally.
And who knows, maybe they are saving most of the goals they will score at the World Cup.
Till
that time. Good one there from Ijeoma Kigbo. We've been talking some football, talking about Super Falcons. They actually lost against Japan's team, 2-0 there. But the ladies are not out. They are still there trying to fine-tune the team, according to Randy Wardrum, before the World Cup begins. Well, big ones yesterday in the Europa League, where matches were played across different stadia in Europe. Let's look at the result in the Europa League and also the Europa Conference. Let's start with the Europa League, where Zurich, they lost by 5-1 from PSV Eindhoven. They really show class, or nearly spelled Zurich there. Arsenal, 3-1 against Norwegian team Bodo Glimt, with one for Arsenal. We are in Ketika, was among the scorers there. Fenerbahce 2, ASC Larnaca 0. You have Reims 2-1 against Dynamo Kiev. Ludogorets Razgrad play 1-0 draw against Helsinki. That's a Finnish team. Roma surprisingly lost at home against Real Betis after they won away against Inter Milan. Malmo 0. Union Berlin 1, and you have Union St. Gilloise against Sporting Braga of Portugal. It ended in the favor of the visiting team, Union St. Gilloise there. And now still looking at the result of the Europa, you have Manchester United also. They did well against Omonia and Nicosia. They actually came from behind. Good one for Rashford, and also, and not forgetting the fact that Anthony Martial was among the scorers there. Sheriff Tiraspol 0, Real Sociedad 2. Lazio against Tom Grass ended 0-0, and you have Midtjylland against Feyenoord 2-2. Well, it was a good one for Karabakh from Azerbaijan, who did well against Olympiacos in the away game. Freiburg 2, Nantes 0. Red Star Belgrade, they did well against Ferencváros of Hungary, and you have Monaco defeating Trabzonspor in that particular game. That's how it went down across different stadia in Europe, in the Europa League. Now, looking at the way the table is standing in Group A, Arsenal right now, despite playing just 2 matches so far, they are standing tall with 6 points ahead of others. PSV at second with 4 points, followed by Bodo Glimt also on 4 points, and Zurich are yet to just have a point. Yeah, Ijoma, you just want to at least let me know that really Arsenal, they are coasting home.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see Arsenal come up with this great form this season. You know, even the Premier League, they also been doing superb. So, but someone told me behind that you can't expect so much from Arsenal because of their inconsistency.
But they are consistent now.
They've appeared to this is just the early stage of the season, though. So let's just see how far they go when the season gets tougher.
Well, it's all, on a lighter note now, it's always very common that you see Nigerian ladies supporting Arsenal. Are you an Arsenal fan?
Not at all.
Seriously,
not at all, yeah.
Very, very uncommon. On average, as Nigerian women, they are always after Arsenal because as at that time,
as well.
Yes, as at that time they said because of the funny boys.
Yeah.
Just to add some banter there, we're talking about the Europa League. We just saw Group A there. Now let's look at Group B. The standing in Group B, where Fenerbahce are really coasting home ahead. Although the same point with Reims, they have 7 points apiece after playing 3 matches. Larnaca from Cyprus are standing third, and you have Dynamo Kiev from Ukraine with no point after playing 3 matches. In Group C, we have other matches that have been played. Real Betis, who shocked Roma over there at the Stadio Olimpico. Right now, they've won 3 out of 3, 9 points. Ludogorets Razgrad of Bulgaria with 4 points. Roma, AS Roma, well, the sleeping giant, as they call them, right now need to wake up from their slumber with 3 points after 3 matches. Seriously, something must be done. HJK from Finland with just a point. Ijoma, you look at Roma, they defeated Inter Milan at home at Giuseppe Meazza, and then at home again they lost. Well, a lot of people were expecting them to do well in this game. They lost against Real Betis, and now they have just 3 points from 3 matches for Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, of course, it happens. This is football, of course. We could expect things like that. But I would say Jose has not been doing bad with that side. And then I've seen players like Tammy Abraham improve, you know, under his watch. So let's expect more from them. Hopefully, you know, in their subsequent matches, they do better and come up, you know, on the understandings in the group.
Hopefully, Roma will bounce back. We've run through Group A, B, and now going to C there. And quickly, let's look at the table as it's standing. Okay, right now, let's go to D. We're done with Group C now. As we quickly look at St. Gilloise, Braga of Portugal. You have Union Berlin and Malmo in that pecking order there. Good one for Gilloise. They've won 3 out of 3. And in Group E, quickly running through the Europa League. Let's look at Group E. The Spanish team, that is Real Sociedad. They are topping with 9 points, followed by Manchester United, who right now they came from behind to win their game against Omonia Nicosia over there in Cyprus. You have they have 6 points. Sheriff Tiraspol with 3 points. Omonia yet to have a point in this group. And quickly go to Group F. Let's look at Group F as it's standing. Feyenoord of Netherlands at top with although almost everyone here, all the teams, they have the same point, the same win, the same draw, everything. In fact, it's very, very tight in this particular group. Lazio, Sturm Graz, Midtjylland, Feyenoord, they will have to fight hard because they have the same amount of points, and also they've got every record almost on the same level. In Group G, quickly, let's look at Group G. Freiburg of Germany, Karabakh of Azerbaijan, Nantes, where Moses Simon Ply is straight. They are actually standing tall there. Olympiacos, surprisingly, a team that are actually known to be playing Champions League, now struggling in the Europa League. What a way to go. Well, Freiburg at top with 9 points, Karabakh 6 points, Nantes with 3, and that's it in Group G. And in Group H, well, Ferencváros of Hungary are top with 6 points, followed by Monaco, although the same point. Anyway, Trabzonspor of Turkey, 3 points, and you have Zvezda actually having the same point with Trabzonspor also there. Well, from the way it is also in this group, is still open for anyone to qualify to the next round of the Europa League. We've been giving you tables there and also talking about the result of the Europa League. Now we look at the third tier of UEFA Conference League now. That has to do with Europa Conference League rather. The result for you there, matches were also played. We have the like of Fiorentina playing draw against Heart of Midlothian, and you have Rigas Footballer Skola playing draw against Istanbul Başakşehir of Turkey. West Ham, they showed their class from London. They were able to defeat Anderlecht of Belgium by a lone goal. Cyborg 5, FCSB 1. You have Lech Poznan 0. Hapoel Beersheva 2 from Israel. Austria Vienna, the team from Austria, they lost against Villarreal over there in Spain. Good one for Danjuma among the scorers there. 5-2, where our own Samuel Chukwueze was able to provide an assist there. Slovako 0, OGC Nice actually also 0. FC Cologne lost at home against Partizan Belgrade of Serbia. Now let's go to the other results still. Dnipro 2, Vaduz 2, Apollo Limassol, they actually lost against AZ Alkmaar from Netherlands 3-2, while Molde from Norway 3-0 against Shamrock Rovers. You have Djurgårdens 1, KA Ghent of Belgium, they lost at home. Sivasspor, without Ahmed Musa, they lost at home against Balkani 4-3. And you have Slavia Prague 0, CFR Cluj, they're able to win 1-0 there. Pionic 2, and you have Zagiris there. 2 Nigerians facing themselves. Otubanjo scoring one of the goals for Pionic there. Good one for Pionic. They were able to win 2-0. And you have FC Basel of Switzerland losing at home to Slovan Bratislava. Those are the results in the Europa Conference League as it went down across Europe. Really, Ijoma, I want to agree with me that at the Conference League, it seems Villarreal, they were so happy for the fact that they were able to win their game. A lot of goals that came for them, even though our own Chukwueze couldn't score, but he was able to at least provide an assist. But for Danjuma, he was able to score. Arnold Danjuma scored there. In the Europa Conference League, a lot of goals, although so many draws that you could see 0-0, almost about 4 matches there. But if you look at it, this season, goals seems to be flowing.
Yeah, absolutely, rightly so. That's what we expect. You know, this is football. That's what we expect, and this is the beginning of the season. So, respect that most of the players will still be, the energy will still be there. You know, the competitiveness, you know, of course, will still be there. So, respect that for now. There should be a high surge of goals. You know, and let's see what happens towards the tail end of the season. It could be the same or not.
Toward the end of the season, coming from Ijoma Kibo there, who has been with us talking sport on 360 Sport on Trust TV. Now, let's look at a particular sport in Nigeria. It's really making wave right now because as we speak, the Under-19 African Cricket Qualifier is taking place here in Abuja, where they are fighting for honors. 8 nations are fighting to see who will qualify to play in South Africa in 2024. Well, to let you know, that's why Ijoma Kibo is here. You cover cricket as a sport journalist, and really, I give kudos to you there. Let's talk some cricket. The Under-19 African Cricket, this has men Under-19, is taking place in Abuja here, and a lot of people are like, wow, cricket, Pakistan, Kenya, Bangladesh, Nigeria, oh, so we can do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Nigeria, it's good really now we have cricket, although of course it should improve, or it's improving, but we're doing so fine really. For over the past few years, we've been doing great. We've seen, you know, how far Nigeria has gone. There's a world record holder right now in the Nigerian team, and that's what's his name now? Yeah, I'll probably remember before we are done with the end of the year. So he's a record holder when it comes to bowling statistics in the T20. He holds the world record right now. That's in Nigeria. Peter Aho. Yes,
okay,
that's the name. Right? Peter Aho. Yes, of course. So we've been doing so much, really. Also at if you also followed the Under-19 qualifiers in Botswana that ended in September, just early September, there's a player, Lucky Paiti, who also became the first Nigerian to score, the first female Nigerian to score 100 runs in a game. That's a century for her. So it shows that we are doing, you know, our progression is really upward, and it's great to see that.
Now, I will take you on these things you mentioned. When you mention runs, when you mention ODI, T20, these are cricket terms. And a lot of people out there watching will be like, what is ODI? What is, let's start with ODI. Can you explain that?
Okay, yeah, ODI is a one-day international game. You know, it's a game that takes almost the whole day. It's a 50 overs game as well, and that's what we're playing right now in Abuja.
You started adding those terms again, 50 overs. They won't know what is 50 overs.
Okay, 50, how do I explain this? 6 good balls make 1 over, you know, so there's a 20 over. Those are formats in cricket. Yes, there's T20, so they play only 20 overs in T20. Now 50 overs, we play only 50 overs in cricket. So those are formats, you know, those are formats in the game. Just like you have in basketball, you see 3 aside, you know, 5 aside or whatever, and then, you know, so those are just various formats in cricket, yes.
Okay, T20 series, what's that?
That's just them playing T20, maybe in a series. Maybe we have like 4 or 5 teams playing together, and then they just call it a series. Maybe like an international, maybe most of them are international series, you know. We will have 4 or 5 countries or so playing together. So T20 is just the number of overs they are going to play. So that's why they call it T20.
Now, the time runs and wickets.
That's a lot. We're going to discuss that.
But I know it has to do with score line.
Yes, you know, the runs are the number of, you don't call it goals, unlike maybe football, you call goals. So we call it runs, you know. And that runs is when a batsman, you know, a batter and his other batter, you know, make an exchange. And so it's called the runs. Immediately that exchange is completed. So there's a batsman here, rather a batter, that's the right word because it was changed recently by the ICC. So saying batsman, we call it batter. Yes. So it's gender, they kind of try to be gender balance. Yes. So the batter A is over here and batter B is at the other end. So if there's a bowler bowls the ball to batter A and if he strikes it, the both batter are expected to make a run. So if they run successfully from one end to the other, the exchange ends. So if they do that successfully, it means they've made 1 run. If they go back, it's 2 runs and 3 runs, just like that. Although there are other ways you can get runs too. If the batter hits the ball towards the end of the boundary, it's a 4 runs. If he hits the ball without bouncing in the pitch outside the boundary, it's 6 runs. So they just sit and they don't need to run.
Well, their analysis coming from, that's cricket analysis coming from Ijeoma Okigbo, who has been giving us that. She covers cricket with deep passion. And once again, well, as we mentioned in those runs and the wicket and all this, I look at cricket is always so long, kind of, when it's played. You see, at times 5 hours, at times 3 hours. Why is it so long?
And those are the formats, you know, those are because of the format. Especially, just like I said, the ODI is 50 overs. So the first team, let's say 2 teams play right now, Nigeria, let's say Nigeria, Sierra Leone. If Nigeria is batting, they play 50 overs.
Like you say somebody is serving.
Yes.
So we use batting in cricket.
No, at that serving, we might want to say the person is maybe the team that is bowling. But let's say there are 2 innings. If Nigeria is batting, it is their innings. So they bat 50 overs is expected. If Sierra Leone is batting, it is their innings. So they bat 50 overs. So first inning 50 overs, second inning 50 overs. So it's a lot of time. Imagine you have to watch them. First inning, they play 50. Second inning, the other one plays 50. So it's a lot of time. So those kind of matches almost take the whole day. But T20 is a shorter form. So let's say 4 hours at most, or 3 hours at most.
Even when you say 3 hours at
T20, you know, what is interesting, you won't even know how far the time has really gone. And of course, there's a break. There are innings break, just like after football for first half, second half. So, although sometimes there could be situations where they might not even play all of that overs. But those are maybe when there are when the wickets are down, you know, because the team who is bowling is expecting, his expectation is to make sure you lose wicket, his opponent lose wicket. So that is their aim. So when all your wickets are down, you can't continue playing because there's nobody to play for you. So sometimes you might not even play up to 50 overs, but it's expected that game is a 50 overs game, if it is in a 50 overs format.
Good one there. I mean, in fact, those one that doesn't actually like cricket will be like, is she talking
Please
about?
Just come to Abuja and watch the game.
We've been having a good time with Ijeoma Okigbo concerning cricket. Really, when you hear innings, wickets, runs, all those times, ODI, T20, we've been talking about that here in the studio. Right now, let's talk about the Africa Under-19 taking place in Abuja, where you've seen a lot of action from Team Nigeria. the under-19 men. They've done so well. They defeated Botswana, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, and now I think they'll be facing Malawi today in the semi-finals. Yeah. So far, what has been the secret? I know you're part of the team, so.
Secret of the team, we could really see the hard work. You know, while watching, we can really see that this team, you know, the management, you know, are interested in details, or they work with details. You could really see what, especially Nigeria, has been fielding so good. The first 2 games we win by 10 wickets. That is huge. We played against Rwanda and Botswana. The game against Rwanda, usually Nigeria and Rwanda, there's this rivalry really building, recently building.
I know they are very good.
Yes. So thank you. I expected it should be a difficult game for Nigeria, but how Nigeria won that game, I was really surprised. By 10 wickets. We didn't lose any wicket.
Because I remember their ladies
defeated Nigeria. Thank you. Their ladies defeated Nigeria, but of course it was a very intense game.
So revenge time.
So right? Revenge time, you know, something like that. So, you know, and superb, really. The fielding has been really, really good. Same as the batting side. The game against Sierra Leone, we had the opening partnership of Paul Palm and Selim Saliu. They played up to 100 runs before the first wicket drop. So it's a huge lot. It's a lot. And then we also saw what Prosper Oseni did for Nigeria, you know, against Sierra Leone, taking out 6 wickets, 6 key wickets at the time we needed it, because the game against Sierra Leone was going either way. At some point, Nigeria looked like, okay, we have the upper hand. But many times, it was Sierra Leone who was really looking to win that game, until we had Prosper Oseni come to bowl and take out 6 consecutive wickets, really, and it was massive. And so it turned the game on its head, and Nigeria won that game.
Now, recently, cricket has really grown in Nigeria. I think Nigerian Cricket Federation, kudos to them. They've been trying to propagate this sport. And you look at especially Zamfara State, where the women have really, secondary school girls have really taken into cricket. And I'm sure very soon we'll have a lot of professional cricketers coming from that place. And I saw where the president, Professor, is it Professor?
No, that's Uyi Akpata.
Uyi Akpata, rather, are talking about how they are trying to make sure cricket is all around Nigeria, especially secondary school, so that it could at least grow grassroots-wise. What have you seen so far that could have been the motivation towards the development of cricket in Nigeria?
First of all, let me say kudos to the field officers around Nigeria, especially the guys at the Northeast. They're really doing so well, you know, in terms of promoting the game, both for male and female. Now, I would say motivation has just been when you see what other countries are doing, you know, and then you're like, Nigeria should do more. It will interest you to know that cricket has been over 100 years in Nigeria. I was surprised when I found that. You know, our first game was played against Ghana in 1904, but cricket is still not at par or where we expect it to be at this point. So I would say the leadership this time around has been doing so great. You know, they're interested in promoting the game and ensuring that Nigeria goes, you know, it's seen at that top, at least in Africa. You will discuss with Mr. Uyi Akpata, who is the president, and then he tells you he wants Nigeria to be ranked among the first 3 cricket playing countries, aside, let's say, South Africa and Zimbabwe, who are huge guys. So he wants Nigeria to be like the first 3 top cricket playing nations, and they are going towards that path. One way to be able to achieve that is to be able to ensure that grassroots level people play cricket. Because, of course, we have the under-19 now. People are expected to fill their shoes by the time they move up. Remember that this same under-19 team took Nigeria to our first ever World Cup in 2020. Now, half of the team is not there present. They are not playing. They've gone ahead, right? So, of course, you expect people from behind to be able to fill up these shoes, yes. So, and that could be the same thing with this under-19. Maybe we'll not have up to the same number playing in the next qualifier. So, of course, so it means we have to go back to the grassroots, and we have to do it deliberately. And the Nigerian Cricket Federation, right now, they are really doing that. Their intention, you talk with the president, he says, we intend to ensure that we get 250,000 new entrants into the game every year. So sometimes, recently, he said, in fact, that they're trying to even double that number. But of course, they are doing so well, and they're deliberate about it.
Good one there. Talking cricket in Nigeria, development of that sport is getting so rapid. And really, the Northeast, especially Zamfara State, have really taken into cricket. And we have Ijoma Akibo giving us much analysis concerning this sport called cricket in Nigeria. Well, before I let you go, Nigeria-Malawi semi-final. I know it's going to be a tough one. The fact that Malawi, they are closer to Botswana, South Africa, they could have taken some cue from their professionalism. But right now, do you see us winning this game?
Absolutely, I would say that, yes. But of course, anything is possible. A lot of people say cricket is like biscuit. They compare to biscuit because when you break it, of course, you could go either way. So, but I see this game, I see it in Nigeria has played a lot more tougher, more difficult opponents than Malawi, if I could see. So I was speaking with the coach of the Malawian team, and he's like, that pitch we have, they don't have it. Now, most of the players are even playing I even seen that of playing for the first time. So he lauded our facility, and we have that facility over 6 or 7 in Nigeria right now.
I know we have in Benin too.
We have in Benin too, so we have in Lagos as well. So I expect Nigeria to win this quite easily.
And if you are able to win this and you get to the finals, who do you expect us to meet?
So there's Sierra Leone and Kenya in the second semi-finals. Kenya, wow, they are good. Sierra Leone are tough too. Sierra Leone has a lot of shows. I've been showing a lot of character in this tournament, and I expect to see that.
So, Kenya, but I good too.
Kenya are good too. You know, there's one of their players, Danish Panchani, who had over 200 runs. So he's a double centurion now, and this is he had that in his debut for the international team. This is the first time he's playing, representing the country, and he's had that. That was the game against Malawi, Kenya against Malawi, when he had that feat. But then I expect to see a lot of character from Sierra Leone, and I tip Sierra Leone for the victory. So we could meet either Kenya again in the finals. But of course, if Nigeria wins this game, the first thing we get is that we've qualified already to the next phase of the qualifiers, because 3 teams are expected to qualify to the next phase. So if we win that, then we are thinking of winning the competition, the tournament next.
Which is very possible. Well, Ijeoma Kigbo, I want to appreciate your time with us to talk cricket. Really, you are good at what you do, covering cricket. Maybe I should name it Madam Cricket. Good morning there. We've been talking with Ijeoma Kigbo, talking about cricket development in Nigeria. It's going well. On the 19 men are playing against Malawi as we speak, and hopefully they'll be able to defeat Malawi and qualify for the next round and also make it to the finals of this competition. Nigeria is hosting in Abuja, where 8 teams are fighting for honor in these qualifiers. That will be it on 360 Sport, where sport is always business and fitness. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.